are many facets to this complaint and to the answer, so I'm going to try to simplify it so we can move along with what you're really looking for, Mr. Garcia. According to your complaint, you and the defendant met, fell in love, and you bought a house. And the defendant moved into the house with her 2 children. You have 2 boys?
Mm-hmm. Ages 6 years old, 2 boys, twins.
And you lived there for a short time in the house together.
Yeah, I had one house, and I purchased a brand new home in February.
But you lived in this house together for a short time. You came home from work one day and you found that she was gone with the children and all the things in the house that you had purchased.
90% of the things were gone.
And then you say that you were served with a temporary restraining order that Ms. Hankey had secured against you.
That's correct.
You were forced to hire a lawyer to defend that case, and that case was ultimately dropped.
Right.
So you are also suing for your attorney's fees.
That's right.
How long did you live in the house together?
Well, like I said, we met in June. She moved in with me with her 2 boys about middle of August.
This engagement ring, you gave her an engagement ring that you're also
Yes.
suing for. What kind of ring was this?
It was a 1-carat engagement ring.
You have it with you? That's that little box? Mm-hmm. Can I see it, please? Always like to look at engagement rings. I never got one.
You can have this one.
Go back.
Well, it's a lovely ring, so I assume you were serious.
Yes, I was.
Miss Hankey, I'm turning to you at this point because he says that you left without a word. Is that true?
Yeah, well, I tried to warn him 2 nights earlier, at which point he threatened me and told me he wasn't going to let me go, wasn't going to let me leave after a series of problems.
Tell me about the conversation that you had 2 nights before you left.
Before I left, it was on a Wednesday night, and I had told him we were having a lot of problems. We have had fights and problems building up to this point. A few days earlier,
fights.
Verbal fights and threats, yes. A few days earlier, he had used adult words for 2 minor children. I'd rather not use those in courtroom, okay? It's in my statement. He had called a couple little girls a name that was not appropriate. That was like one of the final straws. We'd gotten into a fight. I told him he was not allowed to use those kind of words on children. We'd gotten into a fight because we were, it had to do with what he figured his rights were, what I owed him in behind closed doors and everything else. And we would fight and fought over it. And finally I said, you know, we need some time away. I need time off. I think, you know, we really need to think about putting an end to this relationship or taking some time off, getting some help. We need to do something else. At which point he told me, I won't let you leave me. You can't leave me. You know, you're going to be my wife and I love you and I would never do anything to hurt you. And at which point I explained to him and asked him what I had ever done to hurt him. I was not the one that had brought my ex-boyfriends into the house. I was not the one who had lied. I was not the one who had, over a series of the fights.
Well, your
I mean, where he had,
in the house, though?
For the sake of my sons, my ex-husband has come into my house, picked my boys up. He's even borrowed my truck because he's a truck driver and he does not have a vehicle where he could drive. Okay. He has, anyway, so I told him at that point, you know, I asked him what I'd ever done to hurt him. I had never lied to him, never cheated, I've never gone out. I gave up the things that aggravated him. My personal hobbies of dancing and stuff I'd given up because that aggravated him. We left it at that because after he had got so irate and told me he wasn't going to let me leave, I started getting scared. I just said, fine, whatever. And I just walked away, cooled off, went and sat out on the couch, at which point he turned off my alarm clocks. The next morning, I did not get up for work because my alarm clocks were turned off, or he turned them off that morning. I don't know when he turned them off. I didn't see him do it. Turned off my alarm clocks. I did not get up for work, at which time, and at my job, if you don't call in, you're fired. That's considered self-termination. So I thought I didn't have a job. At which point I told him, you know, I haven't got a job. He was happy about this. He liked the idea that I couldn't leave him, that I had no way out. I had no way of supporting my 2 children without a job. And he knew that. He bragged about it to a friend of mine. Told her, you know, I got my baby fired. He was happy about it. I really do believe he was happy. He had me trapped. He stayed home from work on Thursday, the next day. He stayed home and just kind of sat around, and what he was doing, I don't know. Friday, he came home. He went to work Friday. He came home on Friday night, still thinking I did not have a job. Went through all the cupboards. For what reason, other than I felt like he was searching the cupboards to see if anything had been misplaced, anything had been changed, anything had been packed, because I really do believe he kind of knew I would leave him. And then on Saturday, when he went to work, I said goodbye, have a nice day. And he went off on his way. I called the movers, I had him come in, and I moved in and out in 5 hours. I paid somebody to move me out. I was scared. I didn't know what else to do. At that point, I figured at least if I'm out, now we can talk. But I took the stuff I paid for. I didn't take any of the gifts he had given me except for the engagement ring. I had that packed in a jewelry box that I'd taken off when I was moving. I don't wear my ring when I'm cleaning house and stuff. It was in a jewelry box. But I took my furniture that I've paid for. I took my kids' furniture. I left the curio cabinet he had given me. I left food in the cupboards. I left plates, spoons that were mine, pots, pans. I left everything I could think of. I left him all his furniture.
Mr. Garcia, what property do you say that Miss Hankey took?
When we moved into this new
Just
house.
tell me what
Bunk beds I paid for, area rugs, microwave carts, hutch units. She took my liquor collection. She took a lot of pots and pans. She took a lot of petty stuff I'm not even asking for.
I'm talking about the big stuff. Let me hear the first
engagement
one.
ring.
The engagement ring I have here. Mr. Garcia, listen to me. How much did you pay for the engagement ring?
It was $4,000. I paid $2,000.
You got a good deal. Bird.
Do you have a receipt on that?
Just
Yeah,
a
right
second.
here.
Because he
Listen to
didn't-
me.
Right here.
Shh. It's not important. See the ring?
Yes,
Give it back to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Now, the ring is yours. There's no marriage. You have your ring back. The defendant says in her answer that you can have the ring back.
I don't care.
That's how it was
It's
supposed to be
worthless
from the beginning. And
Now you have the ring back. That's $2,000. That's what you say you paid for it. Now, what else do you say she took from the house?
well, what I have in my house is a washer, dryer, and refrigerator. That's on her credit card, but I'm a co-signer on it. And as of yesterday, there was no payment made since last April.
So it's in your house,
It's
though.
in my house. There's no way I could make a payment, but figure washer, dryer, refrigerator, she could have it.
Do you need it in your house?
I do need it, but I
Well,
want
if
to
you
be
need-
compensated for the rest of the stuff that she has.
Just a second. If you need the washer and dryer in your house, and you have the washer and dryer in your house, pay for it. What's next? What's next on your list? I'm going to get to the attorney's fees in a second, because that's a problem.
Well, I want to make sure that that bill is going to be paid, Your Honor,
Well, you're
because
going
I'm
to
a
pay for
co-signer.
it. You're going to pay for it.
Okay, but I want to be compensated for everything that she has, that I have receipts for, like my microwave hutch
Well,
and everything else.
Mr. Garcia, we just took care of the washer and dryer and refrigerator. You're going to keep those things. You're going to pay the bills.
Okay.
Now, what else do you say that she owes you for?
Attorney fees.
There we go. Attorney's fees. That's an issue. Now, Ms. Hankey, you went to court and filed a petition for a temporary restraining order. Do you have a copy of the petition that you filed?
No. I went to court on Friday
Do you
to get
have
it.
a copy of the papers that she filed in
I
order
have
to get a
this.
temporary restraining order? May I have them, please?
May I explain one thing real fast?
Yes?
I went to court on Friday, or to the JPs, whatever, to get the restraining order. I could not take that slip home with me because I was afraid if he searched through my purse or anything else, he would find it and he would know what was going on. I did not carry any of that paperwork with me. I left it with a girlfriend, at which point she misplaced it. I did not know I was supposed to. And she says nowhere on her piece of paper does it say you're supposed to go to court and fight for a continuance on a restraining order. I did not need to call the courts and get a find out if the restraining order went through because he politely called my work and with quite a few foul words told one of the cashiers at my job, who's a mutual friend of ours, that I had placed a restraining order.
Listen to me. Don't tell me what he said to a mutual friend of yours. Let me tell you the problem that I have with this restraining order that you filed, Ms. Hankey.
Yes.
Based upon what you've told me, you had verbal arguments with the plaintiff. There was never any physical abuse.
No.
Based upon what you've told me. You felt uncomfortable about leaving, so you left sort of precipitously when he went to work. You may have felt more comfortable about having a restraining order.
He threatened me.
Well, so far I didn't hear any threats. What he said to you was, I want you to be my wife, I love you.
Okay, but the next day he threatened to pound me into the ground.
I did not.
Just a
Your Honor.
second. When the next day?
When I had told him that I had lost my job and everything else, he told me, well, it could have been if I pounded you into the ground, then maybe you'd get your job back. And this was while I was on a phone with
Your Honor,
a
I
friend.
never say things like that. I'm too big. I'm intimidating looking. I don't threaten girls.
How come you didn't tell me that before?
It was in the restraining order that he had threatened. I didn't even get to that point. You asked me if he had ever physically violated me. No, he has not physically hit me. But he has threatened to, yes. What scared me the most is the fact that he wasn't going to let me leave.
But you left.
Yeah, while he was
did,
at work.
But you did leave.
Yes, because he was
And
at
how
work.
many days later did you get the restraining order?
I got the restraining order before I left him.
If she was so afraid of me, Your Honor.
You got it before you left him?
I went down and got a restraining order on Friday. I left him on Saturday. I had the restraining order in place. And Saturday night, he was at my parents' house, which was on the restraining order. He was at both sets of parents' house, both my friend's house. He had friends and cellular phones
out what happened, Your Honor.
Trying to hunt me down.
I wasn't hunting her.
He put in a false report at the police department stating that I had stolen $3,000 in cash. And then he turned around and admitted to my mother that I left a $100 bill sitting on the table for a babysitter.
Do you have her papers that she filed to get this restraining order?
I didn't get them, Your Honor.
Because that is not this. This is a motion to dissolve the temporary restraining order. You have no temporary restraining order or final protective order at this time. Is that correct?
That's
Ms.
correct.
Hankey? And you didn't go back to court once this one was dissolved?
No, I didn't know I had to.
And you haven't had any difficulty with
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, despite the restraining order, he had called me on my cellular phone, and I didn't even think to bring in the bill, but I mean, I would be able to supply it. But I know he's called my work. He's gone to my parents' house. He went to my father's house and asked my father to see my children, which my father would not let him do.
Well, that's not harassing.
That was on the night that she
He's
left,
not
Your
supposed to
Honor.
go to my parents' house. It was on the restraining order.
When was he served with the restraining order, madam?
He went there a week after. He was served with the restraining order. I believe he was served on Monday. He still went over to my parents' house on Tuesday and Wednesday looking for
I
me.
was served on the 24th, Your Honor. This was like the night it
Ms.
happened, the
Hankey.
13th.
Yes.
You see, my problem is with the restraining order.
Okay.
I don't believe you when you say that you believe that you needed a temporary restraining order and it was just because you didn't know you had to go back to court to get one. Because you certainly know now that you don't have a restraining order against him. And if you were really frightened of this man, you would have gone back to court immediately. The temporary restraining order that you got, I consider, based upon what you've told me, like insurance. Just in case something happens, you have the restraining order. Because you knew you were going to leave, you hadn't told him that you were going to leave. You figured he might be angry when he came back and found you gone from the house, right?
Right.
You figured he might be angry. So you said, well, I'll get a temporary restraining order against him just in case. Well, that's not the reason that courts do or should issue restraining orders. And he incurred some expense because of the fact that you got this insurance. So you have to compensate him for that. Can I see your attorney's bill, please?
Your Honor, I also have a letter here my attorney sent out.
I don't want to see his
You want
letter. I
that?
want to see either the bill that you paid bill or a check or something that you paid to your attorney.
It's all in there right there.
Well, did you pay $400 or $800, sir?
I paid $400 for lawyer fees, and filing fees were $86 between getting her served and filing it in court.
So it's $486.
That's correct, Your
total.
Honor.
Because I have a double bill here. I have a receipt.
Yeah, one
and-
was a receipt from the lawyer, and one was a check.
That's what I thought. Now,
Your Honor?
just a minute. You have a counterclaim.
Okay, before you finish that one, I would like to know if that was the lawyer that was for the restraining order, or if that was the lawyer where he was trying to sue me and make me pay for the washer, dryer, and refrigerator that he's trying to keep.
No, I'm talking, is this the lawyer for the restraining order, sir?
Restraining order.
This was the attorney
Yes.
that you hired for the restraining order. Well, it's the same name.
Same name.
Ms. Hankey is the one on his motion papers that I just read a moment ago.
Okay, because
to
he was trying to sue
motion-
me for this
Listen
other
to
stuff.
me. It's the same name on his receipt as the attorney's name on his motion to dissolve your temporary restraining order, which I believe that you got as insurance rather than because he prospectively was going to hurt you. You knew he would be angry. I mean, I don't have to repeat myself. You knew he would be angry when you moved out. I mean, I'm looking at your face.
Yes, I
We're
realize that.
smart with each other, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
I knew
So
he'd
you
be
knew he would
angry.
be angry about something that you were going to do, and you figured, it's a big guy, I better have this temporary order of protection. We don't abuse temporary orders of protection
I
or
was
temporary
not.
restraining orders, and I find that based upon what you've told me, you abused it, causing him some damage. And his financial damage was having to get a lawyer and defend himself against this case that you didn't follow through with. So you're going to pay his attorney's fees. Now, I want to know about the countersuit. I want you to be quiet, sir. So far, you're ahead of the game, right? You got your ring in your pocket. You're going to get your attorney's fees. You got your washer, dryer, and refrigerator. You're going to pay for it.
Can I say something?
No. If you're winning, you're supposed to be quiet. Now, what property do you say he has of yours that's worth $3,500? Because that's the countersuit that you have.
In with the washer, the dryer, the refrigerator.
Forget washer, dryer.
Okay.
He's going to pay for that.
All right, well, that was part of my thing. There's park benches, there's coffee machines, there's VCR, there's a curio cabinet, which he gave me as a gift. He's trying to take away everything he gave me as gifts. Well, I'd like my gifts. The ring was a gift. I mean, the ring was a gift. The curio cabinet was a gift.
Do you have a curio cabinet?
I had.
What'd you do with it?
I needed money to pay something off. She gave me an anniversary present of a painting that she took. She gave me a lot of gifts, too, that she kept.
I did not give you the anniversary. I did not give you the painting.
She gave me a barbecue grill. She gave me a lot of gifts,
I did not
too.
give you the barbecue grill.
Wait a second.
Your Honor.
Was there a painting that was purchased?
I bought a painting, yes. It was with money that I got from a settlement due to a work injury.
And tell me just a second, and tell me about the fact that you say that this was a gift to you. How did that come about, Mr.
Well, on our
Garcia?
anniversary, she gave me a beautiful card saying how much she loved me. We made it through the first year, and she presented me with this painting.
Let me see it. Does that sound
And we
familiar
hung it
to
on
you,
the
Miss
wall.
Hankey?
No, the painting was a gift for us. It was not a gift to him. It's a $100 painting. It's not worth anything.
Well, it's just the idea. It was a gift. Like, she wants gifts back. Your Honor,
I
go
haven't
out.
asked for anything back. You're the one who wants me to give you the ring and pay for the washer, dryer, and refrigerator. And
The ring was put on your finger for a condition of marriage. You
Okay,
walked
just a
out.
second. Sounds to me as if you gave each other a whole bunch of presents. You left, you took a lot of the presents with you. Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't buy somebody a gift for all of us. Did you take a barbecue with you?
I bought the barbecue on my credit card. Yes, I bought it.
Well, what he's saying is the things that he bought.
And he wants all his stuff back.
Listen, he's not getting anything back. What he's getting is the washer, dryer, and refrigerator, which he's going to pay for. He's gotten back his engagement ring. And I am dismissing your counterclaim. I am awarding him $486 in attorney's fees.
Your Honor, can I say something?
No, that's it. You're both free of each other.
I've
Your
been free
Honor, wait
for
a
her
minute.
for 4 months.
Ma'am, please. I have children's clothing. I still have toys. I have tools
There's
there.
nothing
I
in
can't
the
go
house,
get any of
no.
that stuff back.
Just a minute. Mr. Garcia, do you
There's
have
nothing
any
there like that.
I have.
you have any of her clothes in your house?
I do not, Your Honor.
Do you have
He
any of the
called-
children's toys in the house?
She took everything. She
Listen
even
to
came
me.
back that next
Miss
Sunday and took
Hankey,
it.
you had movers in the house for 5 hours. If you were moving out, you should have moved everything.
Unprofessional.
He's excused. Step out, please.
They fell in love and bought a house. One day, she lived with her kids and most of the shift. She says she lived him. She says she was scared, felt rough. So, who is telling the truth?